Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Kimberly Cloud Show. I'm your host, Kimberly Cloud. I have a very special guest here for the show today. Can you go ahead and announce to the world who you are and where you're calling from?
Good morning, everybody. My name is Mark Ross. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and I have a podcast too called the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast.
Okay. And can we go and dig into and good, what does it entail, by the way, the podcast?
My podcast entails mental health segments. I speak with people that work or suffer from mental illness and work with people who suffer from it. Uh, I speak with veterans also that deal with mental health and other issues. And I speak with like I said before, I speak with organizations too that help in that department.
Okay, Mark, and that's a good thing. More power to you. Hopefully, everything works out. It seems successful. It seems successful because you got veterans and you got like multiple people that can talk about mental health. So that's a good thing.
Indeed.
Um I was wondering about your past leading up into your present. Tell me whatever you want to tell me from either childhood or young adulthood or adulthood, however you want, to your present.
Okay. Uh, my childhood, uh, my childhood was okay. My father, my biological father, he was in my life, but when my parents separated and divorced, soon after that, he relocated, and uh, I didn't see him again. But I did have a man in my life soon after that, and I call him dad. And right now the relationship I have with my father is okay. I forgive my father and all that. But I had a man in my life who loved me as his own. Um, he nurtured me and he guided me. He helped my mom with raising me, and he's up in heaven right now, and I just owe him my life. You know, uh, he helped me in so many
It
ways.
takes a man to raise a man.
Hey, amen to that. Amen to that. And he was a gentle soul. And I don't mean to get off topic or whatever, but I just want to give him his flowers. Since we're talking about my past, I want to give a shout out to my pops McKinley Clark for taking me under his wing when he didn't have to. So um, I will always love and honor him. But after actually around my junior year in high school, Kimberly, is when I started to really ask myself what I want to do in my life. And being here in Milwaukee at the time, I didn't want to do manufacturing jobs. I didn't want to work at the local mall. I want to do something different. You know what I'm saying? And so I
How is Milwaukee? I've never been. I've
no,
never been. How
oh,
is the weather? How's the food?
oh man, well, the food spots are here are pretty decent. I'm not even gonna lie. People really underestimate the restaurants here in Milwaukee. We got some good grub.
Mhm.
We got some good spots here. The weather, that's different, Kimberly. The weather here in Milwaukee can be a little bipolar. There's days that we could see 3 of the seasons in one day. It could be hot, and then a couple hours it could be cold, and then a couple hours it could rain. I'm not BSing when I say that. The weather,
But a Marine like you can adapt.
absolutely. I mean, I've been in cold weather scenarios. I've been in hot weather scenarios. I mean, I was stationed in North Carolina, and that's hot. That's
Yeah.
hot. So, yeah, the weather here, it's you people don't understand what winter is until they come to Wisconsin or Minnesota. This is
How's the economy? Like how is like the structure? Basically, you said there's factories
yes.
there.
Well, they were at the time
Okay.
were. There has been a resurgence as of late, um, but since since somebody took uh, the office of the presidency, things has been a little things has been a little different. But there is a resurgence here in Milwaukee. There's a lot of expansion going on in terms of housing. They're building up high rises and uh, condos like it was Lego bricks, man. I mean, everywhere you look, you know how it is when you had the Legos as a kid. You were building houses. What I mean, that's how it is in this city. I mean, we're growing, we're expanding greatly, and it's good to see because Milwaukee does deserve some shout outs, and we deserve to some growth in this city because it is a cool city.
Can you continue with your past?
Absolutely, absolutely. But anyway, in my junior year, I went to an Army recruiter. Actually,
Mhm.
speaking of Army veterans like yourself, I uh, I went to the Army recruiter. I took the ASVAB and I was unprepared to take the test, and I didn't pass it, so I couldn't proceed further with the Army. So I went to the Marines, and this time I was prepared to take it, and so I took the test. I passed the test, and I asked the recruiter, Kimberly. I said, "Listen, I'm going to follow through and go to the Marines like I want to because I want to get out and experience life. Tell me what I need to know about boot camp." Kimberly, I'll tell you, this man's whole expression changed. He became very serious. He was never really he didn't present to me as a serious individual, but when I asked him that question, his whole demeanor changed. And he asked me, he said, let me ask you this. He said, have you been working out? I said, a little bit. He said, no, you need to work out every day. And even then, that won't be enough. He said,
What made you get into the Marines? What was your key factors?
uh, the uniforms, the uniforms, and my
I
desire to
have
get.
to admit, I felt the same way a little bit. I had multiple reasons, but one of those was the uniforms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The Marines hey, that's some sexy uniforms, man. We rock
Yeah.
it. So yeah,
Yeah.
it was the uniforms. Uh, it was I really grew to like the recruiter. He sold me just based on his demeanor as a cool, low key dude. He was just a smooth individual, and he kept it real with me the whole time. So talking with him and the uniforms, of course, and the desire to get out of the city and do my thing as a
Mhm.
young adult, those were the key factors that made me leave or join the Marines. Uh, I got I started boot camp, Kimberly, in I'm going to reveal my age here. So uh, I got in boot camp September 7th of 1987.
Wow.
So
Wow.
I just turned
I was
56.
all of three.
Yeah, I just turned 56 a few weeks ago.
Congratulations. That's a very wise age.
It is. It is. I'm discovering that wisdom is coming to me. You know what I'm saying? God is revealing a lot of things to me, and I'm very thankful. But I arrived in San Diego because I'm with the boot camp there, um, and he was right. The recruiter was right. I was not prepared mentally for all the things that we endured. Um, I got called every name but a child of God.
Didn't they hit y'all back in the day?
Absolutely, absolutely. We got hazed. We
Ooh.
did. We did.
Can you
Um,
tell me your like maybe week one what happened and then week six what happened? If you can remember, however you want to.
week one was basically all intro. to Marine Corps life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was about learning who your partner was. It was about learning who you are attempting to become as a Marine. It was about uh, learning the language of Marines. You know, because military, we have a different lingo,
Mm-hmm.
and so we had to learn the lingo. We had to learn the marching. We had to
Mm-hmm.
learn, you know, the gestures. We had to learn what it is to be a soldier. Week one was basically, like I said, it was crash course intro. You know, they just drilled military life in your head. Uh, they ran uh, they ran the hell out of us. I mean, I
I
didn't
hear y'all run like 10 miles or
listen.
something.
Listen, we don't run 10 miles, but we walk. We it's what we call hump. We hump. You know, we get the backpacks, we do those platoon humps, you know what I'm saying, around the base, like 10, 12 miles. Easy. Easy. Um, yeah, the first week was uh, uh it was a mind job because I'm an 18-year-old kid coming from the city, you know what I'm saying, coming into this. This is my first experience in my exposure as an adult.
Tell me about your last week. Everybody remembers their last week.
Oh man.
When you succeeded and
Oh,
climbed up that thing that y'all climb up and
listen,
get that flag. Oh my God, I know you felt good.
man, I was so relieved at the last week because we went through so much hell, and that last week it was like you can tell that the drill instructors were kind of like they weren't so hard on us. They kind of backed off. You know what I mean? We still had to drill, we still had to practice and do all the other stuff, but they weren't as hard on us as they were previously. And the drill instructors didn't like me, Kimberly, none of them, because
Same here, same
they
here.
didn't like me because I was what you would call belligerent. I didn't know what belligerent was, Kimberly. I had
Go
to look at
ahead.
the word. I'm like, why they keep calling me belligerent? I'm like, just because I see they bullshit, and that's what it was. I saw through their bullshit. So I had to look over belligerent. Basically, it's hard headed and stubborn, and I'm like, okay, I guess I am stubborn because like I said, I saw through the bullshit, and they didn't. I didn't let them intimidate me, but they did break me, if that makes sense. Um, basically, if you're going to break me, I'm going to look you in your eye while you're doing it. Period.
That's a power move right there.
You dig what I'm saying? And they hated
Yeah.
it. They hated it. They hated it. One DI was like, "I don't like you, and I know you don't like me. We can go outside and we can do this."
Oh, a man thing. Let's okay. From because we I want to get to mental health because we're like halfway through the point.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So
We can go all day. We can go.
yes, you have so much to give me the information. What happened after the Marines?
After my release, I graduated. Well, I was released. I'm sorry. I got out in September of '91. I didn't start presenting my PTSD symptoms till maybe March of '92 because it was a couple of months, and then that's when I started to experience the nightmares. Slowly, it was slowly kicking in. Um, I started getting nightmares, and
While
then
you were in the service, you actually started experiencing PTSD too, right?
uh, before I got out, I started feeling a little paranoid. I would say I started having trouble sleeping. I'm
Hmm.
not even gonna lie. I started having weird dreams before I got out, and I would say like a month. That's when the anxiety started to kick in. So I was losing sleep. My dreams started to became more vivid and more dark, I would say. And when I
Did
got
you
really,
have negative thinking? Like all of these just flooded you, right?
yeah, yeah, it
Yeah.
the negative thinking didn't kick in till like after I got out. Like I said, around March, April, because I remember this when it started to when it really started to kick in. I started getting these military related nightmares, and I would wake up screaming and just sweating like I ran a race. You know what I'm saying? And it became to be an everyday thing.
Did you have any comfort, like your wife or anybody? Did
At
they
that time, no, I wasn't married at the time, and I didn't have anybody. Um, I was staying with my sister once when I got out, and she would ask me like, "You okay?" Because I heard you screaming and and talking in your sleep, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, okay, I'm just having bad dreams, whatever." And again, I didn't know what PTSD was because it wasn't a thing then. Uh, Months go by, the dreams gets worse. My demeanor starts to change because I'm losing sleep. I get more paranoid. uh, I start distancing myself from people. Uh, certain things like crowds, I couldn't be around any type of big crowd at all. Um,
how did you like unthread the thread? Like how did you peel back the banana
mm,
and continue to do what, like get better at what, all of these negative symptoms?
Listen, I call that stinking thinking, and when the stinking thinking gets to you, Kimberly, you become subject to it, um, and it made me suicidal because I didn't know how to deal with it. It wasn't until a coworker of mine spoke to me about PTSD, and he asked me if I had any of those symptoms that he showed me, and I said I had damn near all of them. But more importantly, Kimberly, in my admitting that I had a problem, I had to admit also that I was dealing more emotionally with the symptoms. Like I said, I hit low, and there were days I wanted to take myself out. That's the hardest part about dealing with you. When you have to deal with you got to deal with all of it. You can't pick and choose what you want to deal with.
Do
So
you
if you
go to
it
do you
huh?
go to groups? Do you go to groups or anything?
I still attend counseling right now. I was doing both individual and groups, and
Yes, sir.
it was because of what I experienced within myself and what I experienced other people going through. It gave me the thought of reaching out to the world and say, "Hey, you are not alone in your struggle." This is what made me create the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast, Kimberly. The exposure that I had to services, to help, to learning more about mental health, to learning more about me, and my journey's not done. Your journey's not done, Kimberly. That life experience is what propelled me to create this platform. And I also have a platform called Soldier Stories that I personally designed that just for veterans. Okay. I use Soldier Stories as my platform to speak with veterans that are going through what I went through. And this is therapeutic for me. This is therapeutic. Me talking to you right now is therapy for me because I get to get this out. I get to share with the world, like, hey, I'm going through
With
things just
for
like you are.
free,
You,
for
you did?
free,
Dig
you
that.
know?
Dig that. And
Knowledge is better
hey,
in everything, you
listen,
know.
and the goal for me is to share not only just my story, but to help break that stigma. We need
Tell
more
me
people
about the
like yourself.
stigma of when you were in a Marine and being a man as a whole with mental health?
I felt like I was on an island all by myself because I didn't have the courage to speak up and speak out. That's what stigma does to you. It keeps you locked in. It keeps you locked, not even locked in, it keeps you locked away because you fear ridicule from others. You fear rejection from your family because they don't understand what you're going through. So basically, you just deal with it by yourself. That's the worst thing that you can do is deal with an animal like mental health by yourself because you will lose. You will lose that battle every time. The best thing that you can do, and I said this on a previous show, is to speak up and speak out. Get help and do yourself that favor. And I'm telling you from experience because I lived that stigma, Kimberly. I kept my pain under wraps, and it could have took me out.
You know, they always say write down every negative thought and try to come back to it and change it. I feel like that to all my audiences out there, that
Mhm.
that's another thing too. Um, I hope, how do you feel mental health has made you grow?
I wouldn't be here if I didn't learn from it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I during my process of getting to know what PTSD was, it made me understand what made me tick. It made
Yeah,
me understand
me too.
what I couldn't be around. It made me realize that I couldn't be around certain people,
Yeah.
right? I couldn't be around negative people. I couldn't be around trifling people. Keep that mess over there. I'm trying to get this right. You dig?
Mhm.
I want to be around people that can help me build. That's what my experiences with mental health has taught me. And my experience with mental health has also taught me that I'm not alone. Kimberly, you're not alone. There's other people going through worse than what we are.
Yeah.
They got a bullet, they got a bullet in the chamber right now, ready to pull it. 22 veterans take their lives every day. Every day.
Do you
We got
have any safety measures for the next time? You know, because it comes in seasons, you know, when we get into like a deep depression, maybe because it's a battle. You know, do you have any safety measures for if you feeling down again, what you would do in order to get out of that
mm,
stinking thinking?
stinking thinking. Recognize that you're in it. Recognize that you're
Yeah,
letting the stinking thinking
yeah.
win. That's number one.
Hmm.
recognize recognize where you're at.
When you
And
don't, it's crazy when you don't recognize what like what happened, like your behavior,
yeah,
you will take your life eventually.
you will slip. You will
Yeah,
slip. And one thing that I learned from uh, counseling is we have to learn how to stay present.
I like that.
We have to learn how to stay present. And I repeat that in my head sometimes. I'm okay. I'm here. I'm not back there. I'm not. I, I recognize my stinking thinking, and I'm not going to let it win. This self talk. I have to do that. I don't know what other people can do, but for me, self talk it helps me a lot. I have to remind myself of where I'm at.
I self-talk too. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with that. And recognize that it's okay to not be okay. Just do something about it.
I have one more question for you. Well,
Go
two
ahead.
more questions.
Go for
One being, what did you do for your birthday to
it.
celebrate your 56th birthday? You better had done something good.
Oh man. my wife and I, Kimberly, I'm at an age, man, where all the partying and all the turning up stuff, man.
No, even if it's
All
just
that.
at home with your
Yeah,
wife,
yeah, yeah. We went to dinner. We went to a nice Italian spot for dinner. A friend of hers who she bakes like cakes and cheesecakes and stuff like that. She plugged your boy up with some cheesecake. And my wife bought a cake too, but the family couldn't come through because on my birthday we had a flash flood. And I don't know if you heard about the flash floods that happened here in Milwaukee, but
No, I
yeah,
didn't.
it happened on my birthday.
Oh my God. Maybe a new beginnings, new beginnings. I hope
Maybe.
nobody died. Did anybody die? Because it's gonna break my heart.
No, I don't think
Good,
anybody
good.
died.
How about
Yeah,
their property?
properties were damaged.
Oh,
Properties were yeah. Milwaukee got hit pretty bad. And I thank God that I was prepared because my house didn't sustain a lot of water damage. We had a little bit of water in the basement, but my neighbors they weren't so lucky.
I'm sorry to hear that. I'm
Yeah,
very sorry to hear that.
yeah. So yeah, my birthday was. I mean,
People say they're sorry to hear that and they don't mean it, but I couldn't fathom having a house. This is a house and
mhm.
it get damaged, and then you have to go searching for grants and all, whatever y'all go searching for. And
Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, happy birthday to me.
nice comeback, nice pun.
Yeah,
Where are you going in the future?
I hope to go higher with my podcast platforms, Kimberly, because I really want to. I really want this thing to blow up. I really want people to understand that mental health is something that they shouldn't take for granted. That's a big problem. We think that everything is going to be okay, or we just don't pay attention to our mental health. Just because we take care of our physical bodies doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily mean we're taking care of our mental health. We need to take more care of this. You did, and I think that we'll be in a better place once we really start to break that cycle of stigma and really pay more attention to our mental. So my goal is to increase awareness, increase knowledge, and do my part to help break that stigma.
You have dropped diamonds, and I appreciate that. How can the people reach you?
You can reach me. My email is speakyourtruthpc@gmail.com. I have my podcast platforms on YouTube, the Speak Your Truth with Mark Ross podcast and Soldier Stories podcast. So if you want to reach me, though, like I said, speakyourtruthpc@gmail.com. Check out my podcast platforms and subscribe, please.
Love it. That was a hook. So I'm hooked. Thank you so much. Stay on the line, Mr. Ross. Thank you everybody so much for watching my show today. Take care, be safe, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Amen. All right.
Amen.
Never waste my time. You all I want.